Extinction Rebellion activists are celebrating after the High Court ruled that a blanket ban on their protests by the Metropolitan Police was unlawful. The ban was imposed last month following 2 weeks of demonstrations that caused widespread disruption. Joining us from Oxford now is the environmental activist George Monbiot. Hello to you, Mr. Monbiot. So you've won.
Well, yes, and it's actually a very important victory because it's not just that particular police action was unlawful. What the judicial review has established is that we have this right to dissent. It's an absolutely crucial right. Non-violent direct action is central to democratic politics. In fact, there would be no democratic politics without it.
It doesn't, though, give you the right, does it, to carry out one of Extinction Rebellion's stated aims, taking police resources to breaking point, because there are powers within the Act to control future protests that are designed to do that.
Well, of course, the Act stands, and it dates back quite a few years now. It's 1986 Act. We haven't overthrown the Act, but we've overthrown the excessive use of that act by the police, which turned out to be unlawful. So it turned out that a lot of the arrests that the police conducted during that Extinction Rebellion week of protests were actually unlawful arrests.
But isn't getting arrested part of the point? You want to be arrested, you want to make a point. You said in October if you went home without being arrested, then you would have failed.
Well, yes, that's true, but they still have to make a lawful arrest. And in a way, you know, I see this as a double victory. You know, we've established not only that the arrests were unlawful, but that, you know, we managed to get arrested in large numbers. Now we can get a lot of those decisions overturned. You know, I think what we're doing here is really challenging a system that is set up to protect the interests that are destroying our living world. And we must challenge that as effectively as we can. And today we won a major victory in pursuit of that challenge.
I just wonder, though, the cost of policing October's protests was £20 million. And as I said, one of the stated aims was taking police resources to breaking point. How is that in the national interest?
So the cost of £20 million, that's a real cost, a significant cost, but it's nothing by comparison to the cost of climate breakdown. Not only can they be measured in trillions of pounds, but also the major costs can't be measured at all. We're talking about human life. We're talking about human civilization. We're talking about the very survival of our cities if we don't take drastic action to prevent climate breakdown. So, yes, there is a short-term cost, and we acknowledge that. We accept that this is costing £20 million. But that is really microscopic by comparison to the costs of not preventing this existential predicament. And so what we're trying to do is not only save trillions of pounds by getting the government to focus on what it needs to be addressing, but also to save millions of lives.
OK, George Monbiot, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at some of the day's other news now, and several